you base a lot of your statements on the fact that you believe there is a God, and I seem to understand that you think that in the end good will prevail over evil, but do you ever take into the account that since evil seems to be one of the main forces in the world, as opposed to good, that in the end evil will prevail over good?
Well, this really goes back to the reason why one believes in God. I mean, if it's a matter of speculatively saying, I'll bet on there being a God, then I dare say what you're saying ought to be a real headache. But if what happens is that a man discovers, to his surprise, if I say so, from a position of agnosticism, that the kind of thing that Jesus Christ said about God and God's readiness to come to grips with us was true, was beginning to come true in one's own experience, then, of course, you can't get away from the whole background out of which that claim came. And part of that, as we all know, is that God's attitude to the evil in his world is typified by the life of Christ when he came in contact with it. On the one hand, compassionate and seeking to bring good into evil and sometimes out of evil. On the other hand, prepared not to beat it down with military might, but even prepared to allow the evil to crucify God in Christ. Now, this is clearly not simple. I don't profess to understand it, but it warns me off any simplistic notion that I can say syllogistically, God is all-powerful, he doesn't like evil, therefore evil ought to be abolished. Because according to the Bible, the God in whom I believe was one who, when he came among evil men, even allowed them to crucify him. So I've got to think again. And here I think it's parallel to science. It's no good my having preconceived ideas as to what the facts about God ought to be. If God has done anything to show them to us, to reveal them to us, I've got to sit down before those facts like a little child, to quote T.H. Huxley about science, just as I have to sit down before the facts of the physical world or the psychological world like a little child. A smart child, mind you, we've got to try and think. It's not naivete that's wanted, but readiness to learn. Pin your eyes and ears open, so to speak, because unless God tells you these things, you'll never find them out. You can't find them out for yourself.
Which eyes and ears? Which eyes and ears is God speaking and show you through?
That's a metaphor.
Ah, yes.
Some psychologists understand metaphor.
Mr. Tracy,